Hey guys, so welcome back. Today I'll talk about a couple of topics, but first topic I would talk about S3 static website hosting. How can we do that? So let's quickly jump into that. So logging into my console. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. Now, how can you get into the S3 services? You can always search your S3. You'll get it, and make sure that you put it. If you want to add the service into favorites, you can click on the star button. Once you click on the star button, it will come up and then it will land up here in this section. So here, if you see, there is S3. So next time you don't need to keep on searching every time, manually. So you just click on click on this button. That's it. Click on this icon, S3 icon, so it will open up. Cool. Now, the first thing is, I hope everybody knows about the basics of S3. Like, if you want to put an object, then you need to have a bucket. So I don't want to cover those basics. So this video is completely on, static website hosting. How can you do that? How can you achieve it? Okay. Now, cool. Now I'm gonna create a bucket right now. Clicking on create bucket, and I'm gonna make an static, website demo 29th. Okay, and so I'm gonna make it in my region, this one, and make sure that your bucket name should be unique. Okay, and no capital letters are allowed, so that is very important. So let's see whether somebody else has taken the same bucket name or not. So scroll down, don't click on anything else, and we will just come back to these things later. Yeah, and then click on create bucket. So when you hit on create bucket, let's see. Okay, so that bucket was not taken by anyone, so I'm good. So this is my bucket which I created. Now if you see the right side, it says April 29 today 3/5, which is today's time, in current time 3/5. Okay, cool. Now click on this. Now what I want you to show is in my github.com site. If you go to AWS for beginners, this repo, and then if you go to classes here, and then module 9 S3, if you click on it, then there is something called a static website hosting. Click on it. Okay, and then website files. Okay, now here I'm gonna upload all these three items into my S3. So I already did it's all in my local, in my explorer here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so everything is here in my local. So let's do one thing. So I'm gonna upload all these three items into my S3. So how you gonna do it? Again, I've created this bucket, and this is my bucket. Okay, scroll down. So this is my bucket. Clicking on bucket. Now I'm gonna click on upload. When you click on upload, and here it says there are two options here. Okay, so one is add files, and the other one is an add folder. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add files first, and then I'm going to my module 9 S3, and this is static website hosting folder, website files, and here I have two files. Okay, index and then error. So copying these two files, selecting only these two files, I'm just hitting open. So two files copied. Now I'm clicking on add folder, and then there is img folder. So inside img, if you see, there is another file, but since I've chosen only folder, that's why it just displays only the img folder. Now if you click on upload, now you will see, just click on upload. Okay, now you will see whatever folders I have, whatever images I have inside img, I would get all these items. Okay, I think I've chosen the wrong img because 1 minute, is it the right one? Yes, it is the right one. Okay, just making sure that I've confirmed it. Okay, cool. Now I have all these image files, and I've also added index and error. So just hit on upload. Now you will say, like, you can see the status of your files, how much percentage has been completed. So once it is done, it will say okay, done, without any issues. Now you can click on close here. Once you hit on close, now you can see I have the same sort of format here. Okay, so I have an img folder, I have an img folder. I have two files, index.html, error. This is index.html and error.html. Okay, now we have achieved this. Now what is next, Samir? So next is important. So next is go to properties. Okay, now scroll down, last option. So we're going to enable the static website hosting. Click on edit, click on enable, and then it says hosting type is it should be host a static website for this demo, and index.document. So if you remember, we have uploaded two files, so I'm just naming those two files here in index.document. Okay, now click on save changes. Okay, now once you hit on save changes, now if you scroll down again, you will get a bucket website endpoint URL. So this is the endpoint URL. Okay, now if you click on this, okay, it says 403 forbidden because we have to give some permissions. We have some more work to do. Okay, so how can you proceed further? Go back to your page here. Now scroll up, and there is something called permissions here. Click on permissions. Okay, now I want you to make sure that there are two things which you have to do first. Okay, first you have to write a disclaimer kind of thing, like, okay, I'm going to unblock, I'm going to open my files and websites to public so that they can read. So that's why I have unchecked it, and then click on save changes and just hit on confirm, right? Confirm. Okay, and then click on confirm. That is done. Okay, but this is not enough. Okay, even though you opened you've written a consent form kind of thing to the AWS that, okay, I'm aware of that, I'm opening my entire things to the public. So even if you do that, no, still you will get an error. Okay, but in order to go further on this step, scroll down, there is something called edit. So click on edit. Okay, now this is a policy you have to I think I have explained this policy in my other videos. So what you can do here is you can come back to my GitHub, and there is a bucket policy here. Okay, so Control A, Control C, and then so paste it here. So once you paste it, make sure that you have to replace your bucket ARN, copy this bucket ARN, and copy this one, okay, before the slash, and then till here, delete that, and then paste it. Okay, so once you pasted it, that's it. So your policy is done. So what it says is, this policy just says like, allow anyone to access the object inside this particular bucket. So star means any object inside this bucket. Okay, now click on save changes. So once it is done, that's it. Now if you come back to tab, and then if you refresh, it should work. See, I got this is my static website. Okay, so this is one thing, and I want to talk about one more thing. For example, if you remember, we have one more file called error.html. Say for example, you deleted this index.html for some reason. So I'm just deleting it, permanently delete, and then delete objects. So once it is done, okay, now if you come back and then if you refresh it, see, the page will go to your redirection. This is the error page. Hey, this page is under maintenance, will come back soon with the bank. Okay, so if you open the error.html, you will get that. For example, if you click on open here, so it will open up only that page. Okay, so that's all about the static website hosting, guys. So it's very simple. Make sure that the policies which I was talking about, you have to enable it. Yeah, and yeah, so that's all for this video. So in the next video, we'll talk about the versioning more. Yeah, thank you.